day, as we seldom or never passed a village. Even when we came upon a house, there was rarely anything to be had but coffee. We were therefore the more astonished to find here fresh figs, cucumbers, buttermilk, and wine, things which in Syria make a feast for the gods. We revelled in this unwonted profusion, and afterwards rode into the valley, which smiled upon us in verdant luxuriousness. This vale cannot be more than 500 or 600 feet in breadth. On either side high walls rise towering up, and on the left we see the ruins of an aqueduct quite overgrown with ivy. This aqueduct is 700 or 800 paces in length, and extends as far as the spot where the Dog's River rushes over rocks and stones, forming not a lofty, but yet a fine waterfall. Just below this fall, a bridge of Roman architecture, supported boldly on rocky buttresses, unites the two shores. The road to this bridge is by a broad flight of stone stairs, upon which our good Syrian horses carried us in perfect safety, both upwards and downwards. It was a fearful, dizzy road. The river derives its name from a stone lying near it, which is said to resemble a dog in form. Stones and pieces of rock, against which the stream rushed foaming, we saw in plenty, but none in which we could discover any resemblance to a dog. Perhaps the contour has been destroyed by the action of wind and weather. Scarcely had we crossed this dangerous bridge when the road wound sharply round a rock in the small but blooming valley, and we journeyed towards the heights up almost perpendicular rocks, and past abysses that overhung the sea. The rocky mountains we were now climbing juts far out into the sea, and forms a pass towards the territory of Beirut, which a handful of men might easily hold against an army. Such a pass may that of Thermopylae have been, and had these mountaineers but a Leonidas, they would certainly not be far behind the ancient Spartans. A Latin inscription on a massive stone slab, and higher up 4 niches, 2 of which contain statues, while the others display a similar inscription, seem to indicate that the Romans had already known and appreciated the importance of this pass. Unfortunately, both statues and writing were so much injured by the all-destroying hand of time that only a man learned in these matters could have deciphered their meaning. In our party there was no one equal to such a task. We rode on for another half hour, after which the path led downwards into the territory of Beirut, and we rode quietly and comfortably by the seaside towards this city. Mulberry trees and vineyards bloomed around us, country houses and villages lay half hidden between, and convents crowned the lower peaks of the Lebanon, which on this side displays only naked rocks, the majority of a bluish-grey colour. At a little distance from Beirut we came upon a second giant bridge, similar to that over the Dog's River. Broad staircases, on which 4 or 5 horsemen could conveniently ride abreast, led upwards and downwards. The steps are so steep, and lie so far apart, that it seems almost incredible that the poor horses should be able to ascend and descend upon them. We looked down from a dizzy height, not upon a river, but upon a dry river-bed. At 5 o'clock in the evening we arrived safely at Beirut, and thus ended our excursion to the lovely and incomparable city of the East, to the world-renowned ruin, and to the venerable grove of cedars. Our tour had occupied 10 days. The distance was about 180 miles, namely, from Beirut to Damascus about 60, from Damascus to Baalbek 40, and from Baalbek across the Lebanon to Beirut about 80 miles. Of 4-footed beasts, amphibious creatures, birds, or insects we had seen nothing. Count Berchtold caught a chameleon, which unfortunately effected its escape from its prison a few days afterward. At night we frequently heard the howling of jackals, but never experienced any annoyance from them. We had not to complain of the attacks of insects, but suffered much from the dreadful heat, besides being frequently obliged to endure hunger and thirst. The thermometer one day rose to 40 degrees. End of section 25.